All right, all right, all right, all right. Come on in. Come on in. I'm not in a good mood. I'm a little bit agitated today, but I've got this out for a reason. We'll come back to this, do a little bit of show and tell. But let's go outside, do the check-in. Come on in. Take your shoes off. Get comfortable. Don't touch anything. Don't break anything. Don't look at anything. There we go. Now this is a day absolutely perfect. It's nice and warm, but it's not sticky. No sweaty balls, no swamp ass. This is livable. This is manageable. Absolutely gorgeous in Toronto. Thank you for this beautiful day. All right, enough of this. Let's go back inside. We got lots to discuss. Lots and lots and lots. Okay, so let me set this up so I can have my hands free. I'm gonna do this and set this up like that. All right, so I want to talk about packaging. I love having full presentations. If I love the perfume, I love a beautiful package to correspond with it. And for me, I'm a stickler when it comes to certain things, and one of those specifically are caps. I love the cap to fit firmly and be able to grip the bottle. So when I pick it up by the cap, I expect for that cap to be able to hold the weight of the bottle. And if not, to me, I consider it a failure. So anyone that's looking to start their own perfume brand, or anyone that's looking to do some remodeling or repackaging, please keep that in mind. I mean, lots of people don't care, but I do, especially when I'm grabbing bottles from the back of my shelf and they're all just clustered together and I have no other option to grab from besides that cap. I don't want my bottle, separating from the cap and crashing down to the ground, which has happened before. If it's happened to me, I'm sure it's happened to other people as well. And really, what is the purpose of the cap? I mean, it's at the top of the bottle. People need a place to grab from, so that's naturally where they'll pick up from the bottle. So I've picked out a bunch of things kind of randomly. And I'm gonna try to see which caps hold the bottle. I know basically which ones are and which ones aren't, but we're gonna do this anyway for just a little show and tell. But here you can see, I mean, this is holding, but I don't feel very confident. What does it cost really? Okay, so I like that. They've got kind of that clasp in there. I do prefer the clasp. The clasp is my preferred holding mechanism over a friction cap. I'm not crazy about friction caps. I don't feel confident with friction. Friction meaning like a press fit. Magnetic are a little bit better, but I'm still not convinced with magnetic. And I'll show you why. Like this is, I mean, it will hold, it'll pick up, but still, with a good jolt, that'll go crashing down. Here's a L'Artisan. They've got a nice clasp. That's got a good clasp. I've never had a problem with Frederic MALLE. Late exclusive, which is an excellent fragrance, by the way. Shout out to all the influenza. Good call. I got to give them that. All right, Santal 33 or Le Labo failure. That's a very poorly made friction cap. It's not. There's no friction there whatsoever. Not bad. I mean, it's holding. This is I know it's holding, but I feel that wobble in there with these magnetic caps. I'm confident with these. These clasps of Chanel. They hold really good. Better than the magnetic cap. Here's one. Gucci, look at this. Horrible. What is up with that? Absolutely gorgeous packaging. That green vintage pastel-y bottle. Almost a throwback to, I don't know, another age, another era. You know, even the gold and the green goes so well together, but this just blows. Like, what is up with that? What would it cost them to put a clasp in a ring for holding mechanism? Tom Ford, not bad. Guerlain. All right. Here's a Tom Ford. You know, failure. Why? Why Tom Ford? You got billions and millions upon billions and yachts, and you can't make a fucking bottle. Why? What is up? Look at this. Ooh, really? Dusita. There's a surprise. Wow. And they have a clasp here. I did not know that. Didn't know that was going to happen. Guerlain. And here's one where I thought was a friction cap, and it's not. It's got a nice grip. Just looking at this, it's almost like a friction and a clasp at the same time. That's a wonderful grip, actually. Reminds me of Ferrari. Oh, this did I do this one already? You know, very similar caps, but you know, I can't hold it against this guy. He is like an entrepreneur doing his own thing, backed by nobody but Kickstarter. He doesn't have a huge corporation behind him, but still, I mean, better to get this shit sorted out. Here's one that doesn't hold very well. I mean, come on, Creed. You guys also got the financial backing. Roja, good job. I've done that. Okay. Ooh, Chanel, what is up, Chanel? Oh, maybe. Oh, look at that. I mean, with a little bit of jostling there, it will come undone. Chanel, get your shit together. Zoologist, good job. Good job. Here is Lush, garbage. Go away. Sizzly, you got it. And some more Guerlain, Nicolite, Byredo. All right, everybody's holding. Let's do Hermes. This should hold. They got a nice clasp. Cartier. Nice. Another Chanel. Oh, there's a little bit of wobble in there, but it's holding. It's holding. Another magnetic cap, and I can feel that, just that jostling. Maybe they need to make those magnets stronger, but ooh, Prada. What is up, Prada? They've got a clasp, but they got to make it a little bit tighter, a little bit more snug. Guerlain seems to be doing all right. So do you see what I mean by that? It's a little bit annoying. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that fixed, but anyway, all right. So that's that. I want to talk about, I see these videos come up quite often, and how as a beginner would I spend $500? And I'm actually going to do how as a beginner would I spend $1,000, because that's just the kind of guy I am. And here's how as a beginner I would spend $1,000 right there. Why? Because as a beginner, what I should be doing, and this is my advice to you as somebody who's been heavily into perfumes for over a decade now. The things that I've bought in the beginning no longer serve me. I don't even know where most of those bottles are. They're probably stashed away or packed away. I mean, there's probably some classics in there, but they're mostly things now that don't interest me a whole lot. And as a beginner, our tastes are always changing and evolving, and we're doing a lot of chasing and exploring. And I think that's really when you should just be trying as much as you possibly can without investing. I mean, unless, you know, money's irrelevant to you and you don't care about spending money. But I think a lot of us will attest to the fact that the things that we bought in the beginning no longer interest us. So you can save a whole lot of money just by sampling and trying. I know everybody, not everybody, but you know, myself back then, I liked having the packaging. I liked having bottles, almost like a collector. But if it's just for the sake of wearing, I would just test. And I'm being completely facetious. I wouldn't go and spend $1,000 on this as a beginner, unless, you know, it's something that interests you. But if I were to buy one perfume right now as a beginner and I had $1,000, this is what I would buy instead of buying, you know, 50 bottles of very cheap generic perfumes just for the sake of having a bigger collection. You know, a bunch of those $20 cheapies that really don't have much interest. But this is a fantastic rose oud fragrance. You know, I've been promoting it or kind of hyping it up on my channel ever since I got it, just for this mere fact that I love it. I love what it does. I love that it's high quality, it's wearable, it's got a lot of leather, spice, rose, musk, and I can wear it pretty much wherever I go. You know, very smoky, very fruity. It gets a lot of attention. It gets noticed if you like that thing. It's very loud. That's actually a drawback for me. I like more of a skin scent, but you know, I can do one spray and I'll be fine with that. But there you go. There's my take on how I would spend $1,000 as a beginner. I do want to talk about a couple of things that I have acquired recently. Here is Gucci's Memoire d'une Odeur, and the other is, here we go, Chanel's Paris-Deauville. And I'm gonna turn you guys around and I'll face you in a second. All right, and I'm back. So I've got Gucci's Memoire d'une Odeur and Chanel's Paris-Deauville. And I knew, you know, the moment I smelt this Gucci, I was going to pick it up, but I was going to wait for it to come on discount because, you know, firstly, it's Gucci. I'm not paying retail for Gucci. Secondly, I knew it was going to show up on discount sooner rather than later. And I'm so glad I got this. I adore this scent. And the Chanel Deauville is not available in Canada because of copyright. So I did have to blind buy this. But it's Chanel, and, you know, whatever Chanel's releasing is pretty much blind buy worthy for me. But both of these are very wearable. I mean, I think they're both kind of made for this type of weather. Deauville more so, just because it's more sparkling citruses. I find the Gucci has a little bit more heft. I mean, they're not similar at all, but Gucci's got a little bit more heft and depth. I almost try to put those two words together. But, you know, that doesn't mean it's a heavy perfume. It's also very light, weightless, transparent. There's times where it plays peekaboo. It's very ghostly. It disappears and it comes back, and it does that sort of thing. But as transparent as it is, and sometimes I wish it had a little bit more projection, I'm able to smell this all day on myself. You know, I've never really had a problem with performance issues. I love the packaging. I love the vintage style bottle. The colorway, gold and green, absolutely stunning. You know, nothing I can do about this, even though this is horrible. Don't like that. So the scent itself, I get mainly tea, incense, and vanilla, and it's just a really beautiful interplay. I don't really get that mineral aspect that Gucci claims. It's kind of a mineral aromatic. Yeah, it's definitely aromatic. I get herbs and spices and that sort of thing. But the mineral thing, you know, when I hear mineral, I think almost Terre de Hermes, and I just don't, I don't see that. I think it's a wonderful release from a brand like Gucci. Wasn't expecting this at all, considering everything they've released in the last 10 years. This is very unique for them. So it's chamomile, like herbal chamomile. The vanilla doesn't show up till the base, but I get what I feel like is a frankincense note right in the top alongside a really wet night blooming jasmine. And I think that's what turns a lot of people off, because I've heard people call this pissy, and I don't get any sort of piss from it. I almost wish I did. It would just make it more interesting, but I don't get that piss. To me, it's just very wearable. It's not the most freshest thing for summer, but it's definitely, it's not heavy enough where you're not able to wear this for the summer. But pick this up. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm so glad that I did, and continue to wear it in this summer. Now, Deauville for me is a big surprise because of watching the reviews, listening to my friends speak of this. It seemed to be almost the favorite of the Les Eaux. So there's now 4 Les Eaux: Riviera, Venise, Biarritz, and Deauville. And Deauville seemed to be the favorite. And, you know, while watching these reviews and listening to whoever speak about this, I was almost envious that I have not had it yet. And when I got it, I have to say I was a little bit disappointed, because it's not my favorite. I think it's beautiful, but there's 2 others that I prefer to this. I prefer both Venise and Riviera to this. This to me lacks a little bit of the depth in the base. The opening is very sparkling, very citrusy. It's green. So I get that bergamot, lemon, lime, slightly incensey, very fresh, very clean, almost like linen clean. I think that's what the base reminds me of, like linen musks, freshly laundered linen with, you know, just a touch of patchouli, very clean patchouli, nothing dirty, nothing scratchy or abrasive, just almost to give it a little bit of depth. But, you know, there's got to be some vetiver in here as well, to grassy vetiver, just to add some more greenness. But it's refreshing, it's fresh. It kind of reminds me of, you know, a hot summer day, very sunny outside, the sun is intense, and just being escaped underneath an umbrella guarding you from the sun, and being hit with a very fine mist that's refreshing you, that's keeping you fresh, you know, with a touch of sparkling citruses. But I gotta be honest, like, I was a little bit underwhelmed after watching and hearing all my fellow reviewers speak highly of this. Not that it's bad, but I guess that's kind of the problem of anticipating something. And I wouldn't call it hyped. It definitely wasn't hyped, but it got very positive reviews that just kind of made it a letdown for me. My favorite is definitely Venise, followed closely by Riviera. But, you know, it's still great. I'm still going to wear it, but I won't reach for it before the other 2. And there you go. Let me know what you guys think of either of these, if you're familiar with them. To be honest, I actually prefer the Gucci to Deauville. That's just me. But drop a comment down below. Would love to hear your thoughts on either of these, on the crappy caps. Have you found any other crappy caps that don't hold the weight of the bottle, no friction, no snap? And let me know about how you would spend $500 or $1,000 as a beginner. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all again soon.